Mark, it is so good to see everybody out there. I feel like it's weighted a little bit here. So if we're ignoring you over here, all right, give us a little bit of noise and get our attention back over this way.
Yeah, I want to be looking this way.
Mark, my dad growing up liked to tell me this story. He said that when he got married, that my mom would cut the ends of the ham off of the Easter ham, and that those were his favorite part of the ham because that's what's got all of like.
Oh yeah, all the like crust.
Yeah, the crust and everything.
A lot of flavor.
And he's like, "Why do you do that? That's my favorite part." And she said, "I don't know. My mom always. That's how she made ham." So they went and talked to my grandma. My grandma said, "Well, I cut the ends off because the pan was too small to fit it in." Now, what I didn't realize at the time, but I realize now, is my dad wasn't actually telling me a literal story that happened between him and my mom. He was telling me a parable. And you all probably heard that parable before. And it's a parable about how you end up doing something, and then you forget why the reason it was that you did it in the first place, but you keep doing it anyway. And today we want to talk about knowing why you are here and not just being on autopilot. Mark, have you ever had an experience like that where you just kept doing something even though you forgot why you did it in the first place?
Yes, so recently we had our back to school bash in Potterville, and we have all these tables set up with school supplies, and it was hot for our back to school bash, like 90 degrees, super humid. The sun was coming like a laser beam on us. And one of the volunteers looked at me and said, "Why do we have the tables on that side of the walkway and not the other side where it would be in the shade?" And I looked at him and I was like, "Because that's the way we did it last year." And we didn't think about it. We just set it up the way we had set it up last year. We didn't think about why we were setting them up in the best place.
I think a lot of us have been in that kind of a situation over the last year and a half where we've either been on like autopilot or survival mode, and we've forgotten like what's the purpose, what's the mission in our life. And of course, autopilot's been in the news a lot lately, right? Because autopilot cars have been crashing when people fall asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, and that brings us to our first chat question for all of you. And the chat question is this: when was the time that you realized your autopilot sort of forgot the why amidst the what of whatever you're doing? And maybe that was driving or something, like you also realized, well, wait a minute, where am I going? Like, why am I going this route? But what has that been for you? We're going to give you a little bit of time to discuss that with people around you.